So welcome everyone to the This Girl Can Local Women webinar series. It's super exciting to see you all on a Sunday afternoon, so thanks for joining us. This webinar is going to be recorded today and made available on the council website. So if you have to leave or you miss part of it, you'll be able to watch it afterwards. So I'm pretty excited to joining us today is Stephanie Mafongwat. And my name is Tamara Mason and I'm the Female Sport Participation Officer at Moreland City Council. So we'll be with you today for the webinar. And just before I get started, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we're all meeting today and acknowledge that it's their land, always was and always will be. And I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and any elders who may be joining us today. Massive thank you to Vic Health for helping us out today. Vic Health look after the This Girl Can campaign, and we're pretty excited to be able to work with them to deliver 15 webinars across this 3-week period. And a massive thank you also to Darebin, Manningham, Whittlesea and Yarra Rangers who have partnered with us at Moreland Council to put these on. As a member of the audience today, you guys are on mute, so you can kick back and relax. We can't see you, we can't hear you, so if your kids are going nuts or you're like me, you're at a sporting ground and there's currently a cricket match going on outside, you know, we won't hear you, but you might hear a little bit from me. If you've got any tech issues, you can use the chat function to message Moreland Community Connection and Joe behind there will help you out. This is pretty interactive and you can tell that we're pretty laid back because it is a Sunday afternoon, but we're laid back people as well. Chuck your questions in the Q&A section, which if you're on a phone, you should see some 3 little dots. You can tap that and you should have the Q&A function pop up. If you're on the computer, you should see the Q&A down the bottom. You also have a chat function, so if you've got a comment, you'll be able to type a comment in, type it down, that kind of stuff. That would be amazing. So today's format's a bit of a Q&A. We're going to have a chat to Steph, ask her some questions about her life and her story, and we'll get to some of the questions in the end. So a little bit about Steph, but I don't want to steal her limelight. Steph and her brother came from Cameroon to Australia in 2009, and we've provided a really safe haven for Steph after leaving a pretty violent and traumatic Cameroon. And Steph is a boxer, and by jingo, is she proud of it. She's on a mission to represent Australia and make a professional career out of boxing. But the bit I love about Steph is that she also wants to give something back to Australia and back to Australian women. And she wants to help women and girls try something new and get out of their comfort zone. And she's pretty passionate about this after the few conversations we've had. So Steph, welcome. Thank you. Thanks for coming and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Tamara, for having me. I'm so pleased to be here. Very happy.
Yeah. No, good. Now let me start off and ask you the question, why boxing? Why do you do boxing?
First of all, the reason I choose boxing, growing up, I was not an athlete person, not a fit person, but my father was a boxer and my siblings, especially my brothers, all of them are boxers. And then, so being the biggest one, like the fat one in the family, it was so uncomfortable, especially one of my elder brothers seeing me, pushing me around. So, and it was really uncomfortable being with my brothers, like they won't let me sit, being really bullied, you know, among my brothers because of my weight. And I decided to join them. One of them helped me and motivated me to join them during the training. That's how I got into boxing and started just to train with them and lose weight. And I was really inspired by how my brother Jonas was moving on his feet. And I asked him if I could move like that. And he was like, yes, but you need to be willing to train hard. I'm like, okay, I'm ready for it. So that's how everything started. And then, yeah, he started taking me on boxing training privately. Yeah, taking me on those boxing moves and drills. Yeah.
Yep. How old were you? How old were you when you started?
I was about 16. Yeah,
yep.
My early 16.
Yeah, wow. And you're still doing it today, which is incredible. And at 16, we all know that being 16 and if you were overweight, you know, there's some pretty challenges there. And you've got a choice, don't you? You can go one way or the other. And you've chosen boxing and clearly you're very fit. So the training with your brother has worked.
Yeah, to be honest, it was really challenging because I have 2 elder brothers and then the other one, Modest, he was really bullied, to be honest. Like, he made me believe that I can't do boxing. So in my heart, I was like, I want to prove him wrong. And I had the other one, Jonas, that was telling me, you can do it. If you are willing to train, you can do it. So, and I had to prove the other brother wrong that I can do it, because he was kind of telling me directly, like, boxing is not for you. You can't do it. You are overweight. You are too big. So I had to really train hard. And that's how my dad started putting me on sparring with him. And honestly, I felt really happy, really comfortable, confident that I could spar with him. And he started boxing when he was 5 years old. Wow. And being with me, yeah, at that time it was really terrible. I used to cry, to be honest, talking now. I shouldn't be crying, but when I think about it, honestly, I used to cry a lot. And going through my training, and I have to prove to my other brother that no, I can do boxing, I can do it, and I did it. I did it. I was really happy, and I'm really happy with what I have achieved in boxing. Seeing my brother that started at the age of 5, I'm not trying to compare, but just by being like that, pushing me, bullying me, make me to work very hard and achieve a lot in boxing.
Yeah. Oh, you certainly have. And yeah, I can't wait to see what the next couple of years brings for you. So Steph, tell me, you're good. So Steph, tell me, when you are boxing, how does boxing make you feel? When you're boxing, when you're in the ring, or when you're training, how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel confident, and it also makes me like have that sense of empowerment. Yeah, when I box. Yeah, I feel so. Boxing is one thing, to be honest. Boxing is one thing that when I'm hungry, when I'm upset, when I feel all the negative around me or about me, as soon as I think about my boxing, I feel relief. And then when I jump in the ring or go for my boxing training, you can just see the smile all over my face. It's just kind of letting all the negativity out of me.
Yeah. I was going to say, what are some of the other activities that you do around boxing? Because you don't just jump in a ring and start throwing punches. What are some of the other activities that you do to keep yourself fit for boxing?
The first thing is running. I run a lot. At the moment, I'm doing a 10K run every day for 30 days. I started on the 1st of November.
Really? That's awesome. So you've done 22 runs. You've done 220 kilometers.
Already.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. So I'm doing 10K every day, and then that's my challenge. Yeah, and running is one thing that I do a lot to keep my fitness up. And if I can't run, maybe a certain reason, maybe I just want to rest a bit, I do long distance walk. Yep. Yeah, and apart from that, I have conditioning. So yeah.
That's amazing. How long do you train for? Like during the day, how long, like how often do you train, and how long do you train for?
Okay. In a day, I train 2 to 3 times. So when there is no competition, it is 2 times a day.
Wow. And how long for roughly? A few hours?
An hour and a half to 2 hours. None of them is less than an hour. So always over an hour. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a lot of commitment.
Yes,
that's really good. That's really good.
It is.
Can you tell us the hardest thing you've had to do to further your boxing career? Like, what's the hardest thing you've had to do? Because you train hard, you come here from Cameroon. What's the hardest thing you've had to do to further your boxing career?
The hardest thing I had to do to achieve something, or in boxing, or just to further my career?
Anything.
All right. The first one, in 2012, I was qualified for the national, and then that was my first national and my second fight. That was in Tasmania. I went there under 18, and I was 69 kilos. I normally fight around 69 kilos, and then there was no one at home my weight. Another girl at 81 kilo division. Same situation as me, no one to fight. So they was like, okay, the only way to make the fight between you guys is if I can go up. So to fight her at 81 kilos, I had to be 75, little bit over 75.
So you had to put on, what, 6 or 7 kilos?
Yeah, at that time I was 68 kilos. So I had to add more kilos to be able to fight her the same day.
How did you do that?
So I started eating banana. So I was new in fitness, no experience. And then, someone just told my dad, like, okay, she can start eating banana, just kind of few. And then one of the men was like, no, just drink water. That's how I started drinking water. And it was really hard because drinking and vomiting at the same time, it was terrible. And I'm happy I was able to do it. I think it was about 3. Yeah, I think I had about 3 to 4 liters of water straight. And holding myself. Lucky the team there was really supportive. They were kind of motivating me, and then I was able to do it. As soon as I finished the 4th one, I went straight on the scale, right over 75, and I made that weight. I was gonna fight in the next 3 hours, and I told my dad, there's no way I can fight in the next 3 hours. If they can put me in the afternoon session, then I can do it. I can go and rest. Lucky they did it, and I fought, and then that's how I won my first national.
Wow.
Under 18, yeah.
That's amazing. So then did you lose the weight quickly after that?
Yeah, because after that, just after the weigh in, I started going to the toilet. So the most important thing is to make that weight, that official weight. After the official weight, if you want to add more weight or reduce, that's your business.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's the first thing I did.
That's amazing. Yeah, there's a few questions in the chat about training. What age did you start boxing? Like 16, and then and you train for a couple of hours a day. Do you train like 12 months of the year, or do you train leading up to a fight, or how do you structure your training?
For the training, as an amateur boxing, now I'm pro. Back then I was an amateur boxer, so you just kind of keep a daily training to keep your fitness up. And then with boxing, there are a lot of things involved. So you still need to keep it up with your training, to keep your fitness up, to keep all the boxing do every day, to keep it on in you. Yeah, and leading into a fight, then things like conditioning will have to involve to increase your speed, and also the power will have to involve, and then your fitness as well, and your nutrition. So on your daily activity, like every day, on your everyday life, you can just train normal, go to the gym and box like I'm doing now. But leading to a fight, if it's amateur boxing, it's different, because sometimes they may be in a competition where in maybe 1 week you have to go for a fight to win the competition. 3 to 5 fights. So you need to be able to stand that, competition. So going for the competition, you should be ready for that. Yeah,
wow. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's different now. It's a bit different now to professional boxing that I'm turning. It's still training every day, keeping my boxing good. The difference is that my conditioning has increased a bit, and then my running will have to definitely increase as well. A lot, because I need really more stronger feet, because professional boxing is more young. It could go for an hour, 45 minutes to an hour for one fight.
Yeah.
While amateur boxing was just like 20 minutes for one fight, maximum 20 minutes for one fight. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So that's a bit of an increase. So your speed and your agility and your endurance have to increase. As well. Yeah.
And so then I don't have to wait for the fight date to start getting ready. So before I get the fight date, my fitness should be at a certain level, and then when I get the fight date, then go into a locking training camp. That will Yeah, like
Yeah,
now,
okay.
yeah, like now my promoter are working on putting me on the locking training camp
Yeah.
for my early January 5. So,
Okay.
so that, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. What's your favorite activity? Like if you're doing practicing speed or your endurance, what's your favorite activity to do? And what's the one that you really hate? Because for me, I hate sit-ups. Sit-ups and I, we're not friends. Push-ups, no problem. Sit-ups, I'm not friends. So what's your favorite activity and what's the one you really don't like doing, but you have to do it because you know it's good for you?
I'll go for the one I had first, push-up. I'd rather run
Oh,
for 1 hour than doing push-up.
oh yeah,
I
I would
hate
rather run for an hour
push-up.
too, but push-ups, yeah, okay, fair enough. Hate push-ups.
I
So what do you
hate
love then?
push-up. I love running.
You love
I
running. Fair enough.
enjoy running, yeah.
Yeah,
And
fair enough.
push-up, I hate it, yeah. So if
But a
we
good
stay
one
apart from my boxing, the second thing I enjoy the most is running.
is running. Running gives
Yeah.
you such freedom. I love running. It gives you such freedom. You can free your mind, and it doesn't matter if you're a beginner runner and you run between people's driveways and then walk and then run, or you run a kilometre or you
Exactly.
run 200 meters. It doesn't it doesn't matter what your running looks like. The fact that you're
Yeah,
running 10K is amazing. But
yeah. No, I really enjoy running, and then running is something I always encourage, and even walking as well, because certain people don't like running. So you can also do the long distance walks, just increase your walk, not a kind of a relaxing walk, a power walking. Yeah, that is another thing. Maybe if they ask me to advise, I can advise for people. If you want to get into running, start with a power walking.
yep.
Yeah, by then when you get used to it, you can step into running a slow run.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Hey, can you tell us more about the program that you're running at the Moreland Oxygen Youth Space? So Moreland City Council's got a youth centre in Coburg, and Steph's been running some boxing sessions for women there. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Oh, sure. So it's the program, I started doing that with them a few years ago, about 3 to 4 years now, that I started with the Moreland Youth Center, and it's just to train the girls there and kind of just to teach them the basic of boxing, to get them active, and then really make them believe in themselves, believe that, not because of who they are or where they come from, they can't be among people or they cannot train, because sometimes I get others that come like Muslim people, when they come in, they can't really train in an open air like that. So that training there with them, I really encourage them to see that no matter who they are, they shouldn't stay in that block and just close themselves like, no, I can't do it. No, I always cross that word. I can't. Believe in yourself. If you are already here, you can do it. So my role there is to motivate every single person that walk in that room to believe in themselves, and then know that no matter what they want to do, if they want to be active, they can do it. They shouldn't just sit there and just like, wow, I wish I can do it. No, if you can wish it, you can. So you just need to take it in your mind, yep, I want to do it, and then stand for it.
Yeah, it's an amazing program, because the walls and the doors at the youth space in Oxygen can all be closed off from the outside world. So some of our community don't like exercising or can't exercise with others viewing them. So we close off all the doors and windows, and as Steph said, once they're in there, that's half the battle, is actually getting there. And so then, yeah, the fact that you're able to work with them and get them to enjoy boxing and doing those other exercises, I think is a great plus. So hopefully once some of the COVID restrictions lift, that program might get back up and running, perhaps.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
definitely seeing that things are getting better. I can't wait. I've been getting messages from the girls. They really miss it. And yeah, some of them have been sending them some program of running that they could do, some exercise, yeah, that they could do on their own time. Yeah, but still, they really miss that, because we did really build that little community training together. It was always fun to meet together every week and train. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to get back into it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You touched on it a little bit before, I think, but we know that women have a fear of being judged when they get active. How do you make the girls and women at those sessions feel welcome, especially when you...
Yes, when they first come in, I always make them to introduce themselves. Before that, I introduce myself, and then we have a chat. Always ask them if they have done boxing before.
Do you remember what it was like the first time you tried something new? And can you tell us how you felt when you tried something new?
When I first tried something new, it was really challenging because I was fighting in me, like, do I really want to do this or not? So there was that inner fight that I had to overcome, and it was really challenging. So being among people that were doing the same thing that I wanted to do, seeing where I am and looking at where I'm going, what I want to achieve, I was like, each time I asked my question, I was always like, no, I can't do it. It's not for me. I'm true. I had to go through, and I said like, no, why do I want to do this? So I had to sit there and think like, why do I want to do this? Do I want to remain in my box where I am, or do I want to step out? As soon as I got my why, that's how I had to fight, kind of break out that inner fight I had in me and step out and go through it.
So you think it's important first? You think it's important first for women to find their why they want to do something, why they want to try something new. Find that out why, and then once 100%. You understand that, you just 100%. Never give up.
Yes, 100%. I will always advise, before you do something, find your why. As soon as you get your why, that will always hold you to keep up, not to let it go, not to let it down. Because as soon as you break down your why, it could be more than one reason. You have it in front of you. Sometimes I have a vision. Maybe it could be a photo of something. It could be like, they call it vision board. It could be maybe a word that I just put there, so why I want to do this. So I will always advise everyone, before you do something, find your why, because you don't want to start and give up. Yep. You don't want to start and give up. You want to start and go through it and overcome it. Yeah. And by having your why with you and always shake it, always turn around and look at your why, will always motivate you to go through the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I speak to women every day who, someone's sick in their family, there's a disease in their family, whether it's dementia or Alzheimer's or, cancer, and they're like, no, I keep walking, I keep active to keep my brain active or my body active because I've got a history of illness in my family, so I want to keep active, or they've got young kids and they want to keep up with their kids, and I guess boxing is one of those sports that women might not decide to join straight away. But I think it's incredible the fact that it is possible, because it's not just about punching people. There's so many other things that is involved, like you've said, running, skipping, jumping, endurance. Yeah.
Honestly, I take boxing. I have tried, before I decided to do boxing and take boxing only, when I started at the age of 16, I did try rugby, I did try footy, I did try soccer, and boxing was the one that I really enjoy. The reason why is because that took really all my focus. And then the most important one was that I noticed that each time I'm working like on the bag, if I had a really bad day, working on the bag, just punching the bag hard, I let all that, negativity out of me.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I always tell the girls at Modern when I'm working with them, at the youth center when I'm working with them. I'm like, okay, now we are here. You had a really bad day. Just hit the bag and let it out. Yeah, it was hard at school. Hit the bag and let it out. And then it's always good to see how when they're working, sometimes they're like, oh, I'm tired. By the time we finish, they're just like, with that smile on their face, which is great, and I'm really happy with that. So yeah, I will always advise boxing. I don't take it to punch someone. When I started, it was not to go in there and punch someone. even when I had my first fight, I was in my mind was like, if I win, I'll quit. I'll continue. If I lose, I'll quit. Even though I lost the fight, but I turned around and continue boxing, right? So it was not about going in there and then hit people. And even if for those that have watched my fight, they will always see that when I'm fighting, I'm not going in there to hurt someone. But for me, it's a sport. I take boxing as like soccer. Yeah, I go in there and enjoy it. For me, it's just to go in there and enjoy it and be happy. That's all. So
good.
Yeah, even if someone doesn't want to fight, you can just join any boxing gym or get a personal trainer that can take you on a boxing pad and have that, do it and hit the pad hard. Honestly, if they try it, they can really see the difference on how you just hit it and let, all that negativity out of you and feel great at the end.
Makes me want to go boxing now. Hey, I've got one more question before we. I know I should try. After working all day, I feel like sometimes I want to get it out. But I've got one more question before I want to get to the questions in the chat. You are so inspiring. So what inspires you? Because you're clearly an inspiration to other women. So what inspires you, or who inspires you?
The person that really inspired me, that's first my brother. He really inspired me. My brother Jonas, he's like my trainer now. And then secondly, is a female boxer called Layla Ali. So that's Muhammad Ali's daughter.
Yep.
Yep. So she is one of the female that really inspired me from the start.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, you're an inspiration, and I'm glad you've got other people to look up to too. That's pretty amazing. So I'm going to throw to some of the questions in the chat now. There's some of our audience who've got some questions for you, which is cool. So the first one from Lauren is, did you come to Australia with all of your family or just your brother?
All my family. So my mom and my other siblings. Before that, my dad was in Australia for 4 years before we joined him.
Yeah, awesome. And you were in Darwin first and then you moved to Melbourne.
Yes. Right? Yeah, I was in Darwin. Yeah.
Well, the weather's a bit different down here, but Melbourne's great. And you love Melbourne?
I love Melbourne. There's no way I'm going back to Darwin. Yeah, it's my home now.
That's good. A couple of questions from Jody. Jody says she's had a knee replacement. How do you power walk if you've got a knee replacement? Do you feel like you're qualified to answer that question? How do you power walk? Okay.
All right, with the knee replacement, so I would say, first of all, you will have to start slow. Don't go on a power walk. And they have to, before even walking, they have to like station training, kind of probably see a conditioning trainer or maybe a personal trainer. Yeah, if you have a physio, a different exercise that your physio have given you, I'm really sure you can go on that and do that continuously to build your knee strength. From there, I would advise you, if you want to walk, if you feel like you can walk on your knees like that, if it's already better, start slowly, maybe at 50% of your power, walk, and increase it.
Yeah, and I would always check in with your physio or your doctor about some of that stuff as well. Because, we all know coming back from an injury or a knee replacement or any of those injuries, you want to make sure you're doing the right thing by physio, so you take 2 steps forward and not 3 steps back. Jody's also got another question here, which I love. I think this is really cool. Do you need to have an aggressive attitude to fight? You seem so nice. I can't imagine you boxing and hitting someone.
I always get that too. You don't need that aggressivity to get where you're going in the fight. Many people believe that, but I don't believe that. Yeah, you just, like I said before, boxing, I take it as soccer. I just go in there and I enjoy it. Yeah, I even have people coming toward me with that aggressiveness, but I always take it nicely, but the aggressivity comes from my point that I let it out.
That's good.
So when I hit that bag, it just go out with the power. No, you don't really need that, because it's the person you are fighting is not your enemy. It is a human being like you. It is a friend. It is a sister. It's a brother, if you are firing someone. So, yeah, it's just to enjoy it.
So how do you protect yourself? How do you protect yourself from getting hurt if you fight it? There's the perception out there of what boxing is. How do you protect yourself? Obviously with gloves, but how else do you protect yourself?
Boxing is about attacking and defense. Yeah, boxing, you attack, you have to be able to defend yourself. So there are so many rules about defending yourself, using your hands on blocking or the side head movement or the backward and forward. So there are a lot of things, rotation. Yeah. Through your training, you can learn all that. Yeah.
Well, Steph, this has been amazing. We need to wrap it up, but I feel like we need to go and inspire all of these women to jump on board and have a look at their local leisure centre for a boxing class perhaps to get started. Or where else should they be looking? Should they find their local boxing club or boxing gym perhaps to get started as well? Would that be a good place to point people towards?
Oh, yeah, I would advise them to go anywhere they feel comfortable. If they find any boxing gym or, I would really recommend boxing gym because being there, you learn a lot from a boxing gym. Yes. And also if they have any boxing classes around the area or in the community, they should definitely try it out. And if they want, because some people prefer the private one, if you want a private one, there are a lot of personal trainers there that could take you on board, and then take you through that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, well, it's definitely a very fit sport. Every boxer I've seen is fit and toned, etc. So I think it's amazing, and I'm really proud of you. I think you're amazing for what you've been able to achieve while you've been here, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you competing at the Olympics at some point, hopefully for Australia when we're allowed to again. And you're incredible. So thank you. Thanks for your time this afternoon. I think it's pretty amazing. But everyone, I really hope you've enjoyed Steph's story. We certainly tried hard to. We tried really hard to find people who, I said, local women who have got a different story, and they're here to try and inspire other local women because, we're all out there trying to do our best as mums, as sisters, as wives, as daughters, and sometimes we don't give ourselves priority. And I think this time we should. So I think it would be crazy not to go out and try something new. So thank you, Steph. You've certainly been inspiring today. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and it was great to share my story.
Thank you. Hey, now quickly before we finish up, everyone, there's a quick poll that we want to run. We've been doing this across the 15 webinars, so it's going to come up on your screen now. If you could take like 3 seconds just to answer that, it'd be great. We just want to get some feedback from these sessions. As I said, there's another 5 sessions this week on the This Girl Can website and Facebook page. So if you can have a look at the Facebook page and website, you can register to attend those sessions. And we certainly look forward to seeing you. There's some great speakers coming up across the next set of webinars. So we're pretty excited for that. And we're also pretty excited to announce the winner of the Fitbit today, which is very cool too. So Jodie, congratulations, you are the winner of the Fitbit. We will be in touch tomorrow via email, and we'll shoot you an email and work out how we can get that one to you. So congratulations. You are the winner of the Fitbit. So thank you everyone for your attendance today, and thanks for completing the poll. We really look forward to seeing you at the next webinar. So thanks everyone. Enjoy your afternoon.